It's Ghost coming to you live with another wonderful video. How is everyone doing today? I'm doing well myself. Uh, just getting some station. All right, sorry. Sorry, it took me a bit. I was getting some things situated. Um, yeah. So we got some reaction videos we're going to do today. A bunch of YouTube shorts that I'm going to react to, laugh at maybe, or I don't know. So that's what we're doing. Um, um, so it's gonna be an easy day. Now I'm normally doing, uh, I normally am doing the Trump trial. I've been covering that lately. Um, but unfortunately, there was no trial yesterday, so I can't really do anything today with it. Um, I've been doing the day after. So today is just a nice easy reaction stream. Tomorrow we'll be back up doing the Trump trial. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. So let's do a little housekeeping. Follow me on X at official WGhost. It's the best way to find out when I'll go live and what I'm doing, things that I tweet, etc. Um, and then of course rebel.com/withghost and on Facebook live or sorry, rebel.com/withghost is my main channel. That is the channel I generally stream to regardless, no matter what. So feel free to check um it out on Rumble. I give me a follow as well. Um, and then yeah, follow me on Rumble. Um, let's see. We're doing a reaction from and then youtube.com/ at with ghost. That is the YouTube, twitch.tv/ official with ghost. That is the Twitch. So those are my various um shows that you can watch. Various platforms that I'm on. I am streaming on Twitch or TikTok. Yeah, X. Yeah, I'm streaming on X. I am streaming on X currently. Um, so if you're on X, you want to chat, you can, or you can come to over to Rumble. Preferably Rumble. Rumble is the best. Flashback free speech. Make sure you buy some Rumble stock now. It's only at like $6, $6 and 30 cents, I think, or something like that. Rumble is going to, I swear, it's going to take off fairly soon. Especially if they end up purchasing TikTok. Ooh, Rumble's going to be skyrocketing. Wait, um, for anyone who's new, I am covering the Trump trial, and then I've been trying to do a stream in the middle. My time to kind of, so that no one comes on stage just thinking I'm Trump stuff. Trump trial is interesting. The former president ever prosecuted, but I have been trying to do a regular show in the afternoon, or I take an hour or so. Um, all right, let's get to it. I'd help if I put on. So these are various YouTube shorts from various places. A lot of it looks like it, some on Never, some other stuff. Um, yeah, there we go. God damn. Got so many tabs open. All right, there we go. Let's get to it. So, just to start.
Explain to me how immigrants come here, don't speak the language, figure it out, go to college, get an education. Why are Black Africans, right, from Africa, doing way better than African Americans?
The experience of an African immigrant in the United States is way different than the experience of an African American. They're two totally. If you're an African immigrant, you might as well be white or European.
What?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Just what part of that do you understand? If you're an African immigrant coming to the United States, your outcomes in life, the places that you live, the education you have, you're more on par with an upper class white person than you are with a person who's a descendant of
the
slavery.
biggest difference is the mindset. It's not the circumstances,
it's not the mindset. It's the families that you come from. Somebody that comes from a family that's driven enough to get their children or themselves to move to the United States from Africa, this is a highly driven family. This is a lot different than somebody whose great-grandparents weren't allowed to buy a house in the city because they were redlined out by a bank in the United States.
Explain to me how.
This is the dumbest take. This is Destiny, the blue-haired dude. It's the dumbest take. Sneeko is right. It's the mindset that the individual comes with. The mindset of an African immigrant is, I'm going to get it regardless. I am going to do well regardless. The mindset of the African American is, it's not my fault. I'm discriminated against. I'm the victim. That's the mindset. That's the biggest difference. Okay. The immigrant, an African immigrant generally isn't going to be an extremely rich fucker. All right. He's going to be a poor guy who, saved up enough to just make it to America and then, start his own business. It's the experience of Myron, who's the one speaking in the beginning. His family, his parents came from Sudan. But the majority of the immigrants coming through aren't individuals that are wealthy. They're poor, just like everyone else. And then they come to America for the better opportunity and end up seeking some, at least some sort of wealth. But Destiny doesn't understand that because he's a fucking idiot and he has the worst takes of all times. This is a man whose relationship or marriage failed because he's an idiot. And he had an open relationship with his wife and then, oh no, she left me. But it's a dumb take. Nico's 100% right. It's the mindset. It's the mindset. Mindset of an immigrant, an African immigrant, is I'm going to get it regardless. I'm not going to stop until I get it. That mindset of an African American is, it's not my fault. People be racist. That's the mindset. And guess what? America's a racist system that people claim it to be. They don't distinguish between black born here and black born somewhere else. You're just black. So they're going to discriminate you regardless. So it doesn't make any sense. Again, this is just a dumb take by Destiny. All Destiny really does is ends up like splurging. And he sounds smart, but he isn't really. All right. What is this?
Is it that men will ask women for certain type of pictures, that they will ask for favors, they will expect home-cooked meals, and they will want intimacy before giving her commitment? But when a woman even dares to expect a nice date, the bill to be paid, and to receive maybe a nice bouquet of flowers, which is literally the bare minimum.
So I got to plan the date, I got to pick you up, I got to pay for the date, I got to entertain you, and I need to bring you flowers? That's the bare minimum? Damn.
Here's another problem with this lady. And this is a problem with a lot of the TikTok or shorts or whatever females, is they assume attraction. They assume the guys that they're the guy they're talking to or they're talking about here is, it's someone they're actually attracted to. Like, and I mean, like, fully on, like, boom, I want to sleep with this dude. I'm down for whatever he wants. But if you're some fucker who may, was able to be like funny enough, charming enough to like, what the heck? He's not normally my type. I'm gonna, give him a chance, which is a majority of guys. If you bring flowers on a date, you're a fucking weirdo. Like, that's how a lot of women will think. She right now is assuming that she's already attracted to the guy to the point where, she wants to go and have some bedroom fun. She's at that. That's what she's imagining currently, but she's not thinking of the dude who, just barely got a shot because he was funny enough or entertaining enough or something like that. He just barely got in there. And then he brings flowers, and he's just considered a weirdo. Like, women want this chivalry, but a lot of chivalry actions, like, you know, a majority of these men will do is they're weirdos. They're considered weirdos because these men they're going out with generally are men they just that barely got the chance. They just barely got the chance. So if you get to that point and you start, you know, doing the flowers and stuff, you get, you know, found a weirdo. If you're like a fucking Chad, like Andrew Tate or Justin Waller, and you bring flowers on a date, oh, that's charming. But if you're someone like me who brings flowers on a date, unless the chick's actually really into me, it's weird because we don't do that anymore. You know what we also used to do? We used to approach the family, the head of the household, the father, and start courting from that way. You know, asking permission and getting his approval before we actually started courting the woman. That's what we also used to do. And then, you know, everything she's talking about. What she's talking about? Hold on.
That men will ask women for certain type of pictures.
Okay, so I'm assuming she's talking about naked pictures. Well, don't send those naked pictures. That's a problem with the supply. There's plenty of women that would supply those pictures. And also, what she's really ended up talking about is things that happen like after, like while you're in relationship. You know, there's some guys, yeah, sure, while you're dating, you know, going on those first couple dates with a girl, that may ask for those certain type of pictures. Most aren't. So let's see, certain type of pictures.
They will ask for favors.
Okay, what are these favors? What favors?
They will expect home cooked meals.
Okay, so here's the thing. What she's thinking, I like this dude. I've been on a couple dates with him. I am now in an active relationship with him. And then what she's talking about, all girls want, is stuff one that happens in the beginning, which requires, you know, some work to even get this started. Like, what she's thinking of is things we ask for once we're in a relationship. And then what she says, oh, women just want, you know, do this and bring me flowers. But she's thinking of the beginning when the guy's courting you. Okay, so so what she's asking for are things in two different stages. It's two different stages that we're in here. She's talking about in relationship, and then she's saying what women want is beginning, but then there's a whole bunch of stuff prior to that men have to do to even get the date. So it's really not a good comparison. And she's like, men want home cooked meals. Yes, because home cooked meals are delicious. Have you had a home cooked meal? If your woman's a good cook, they are delicious. Flowers. Women hate getting flowers from weirdos. Sorry. Oh man.
I'm a mother from Rhode Island who was sued by the teachers union simply because I wanted to know what my kindergartner would be learning in school. I asked to see the curriculum, and my school told me I had to submit a public records request. The curriculum wasn't posted online, and it wasn't available in a school district. Then I asked them if they were teaching gender theory, and they told me that they don't call children boys and girls, and they embed the values of gender identity into every classroom, including kindergarten, and they didn't want to answer any of my questions further. And when I did submit the public records request that they told me to submit, my school board then held a public school board meeting to discuss suing me for submitting the request that they told me to submit.
Thank you for having courage. The story you've told indicates that they are bullies. They're supposed to be stopping bullying in the schools, but they themselves are role models for bullies. Watch this.
I'm a mother.
Well, this is, look, if there's not a bigger, if this wasn't a bigger saying, hey, take your kids out of public school and put them either private or homeschool, I don't know what is. This is the biggest ad for them. This woman just simply wanted to know, what are you teaching my kid? She's a good mother, taking an active role in her child's learning. And so she asks, what are you doing with my child? And for that, they want to sue her for it. Here's the thing. and Andrew Wilson talks about this a lot, is, these leftist ideas are dying out. And what do we mean by that they're dying out? They're dying out because a lot of these, the birth rates are down. The only ones who are really having kids are conservatives, mostly Christian individuals. So the leftists, for their ideals to survive, they have to go and indoctrinate your children early. Okay. That's why, you need to be more cautious and wary of schools, public schools, especially, because they are rife with these type of people who want to indoctrinate your children. Sorry, look at my socks. But it's ridiculous. So they go into the schools to indoctrinate your kid early. Tell me, why does a kindergartner need to know anything about gender identity? I mean, in all honesty, what purpose does gender identity have with a kindergartner at school? Matter of fact, what does that have to do with anything in school at all? Okay, it sounds like a college thing that you should be talking about. By the way, if you're taking gender identity as college, you're a fucking idiot. Unless you're there to just get an easy A, you can fuck with them. But yeah, schools are becoming more and more indoctrination, less about learning. Like, that's why you have gender identity in schools. Okay, it's so we can indoctrinate you. It's so the left can indoctrinate you into their way of thinking. And it's fucking crazy. That's like I've said before. Hold on. Like I've said before, what did I say before? Oh, COVID. The only good thing about COVID was the fact that, parents became more aware of what schools were trying to do with their children. It's the only good thing that really came out of COVID. COVID sucked. COVID was terrible. Boo COVID. It's something Donald Trump really fucked up on, in my opinion. I'm sure a lot of people agree with me. Yeah, but the good thing that came out of COVID is parents woke up to what was going on at in schools, because they saw what was being taught and like, I don't agree with this. What's going on with this? So it's like I said, public schools are honest. Like, my kids are gonna be homeschooled. I've decided this. I don't need any of this gender dysphoria, gender identity crap being indoctrinated into my kid. And it's funny, it wasn't always like this. I used to be really pro public school, thought it was really important, made fun of people who were homeschooled and stuff. I thought being public school was normal. Now I'm like, fuck public school. I'm not putting my children into public school. They're going to try and fucking indoctrinate them into dumb ideas, make my daughters into whores. Moving on, sorry. All right. Oh, this is Andrew Wilson. This should be a good one.
But is he the head of the family, even if you're the breadwinner?
In my eyes, he is.
Yeah.
Like, I would be like, kids, respect your father. He's
No.
still your
He
dad.
says, I make all the decisions, and you're going to follow those decisions.
Well, I think decisions in a household, it's a two-parent household. Like, what decisions are being made? I think if you respect,
Well, that's not submission.
If you respect your partner, look, submissive is not a slave. Let's be clear.
What is it?
Submissive is like, to me, if your man, like, look, if we have gender roles, if we are both doing our part, like, in a way, a man submits to a woman, a woman.
No, it's true. But is he the head of the family?
So clearly this woman, like, this actually, it's funny is I watched a clip of that, the full clip of that, and she just ends up binding herself into a circle. She's like, I don't believe in equality, but I believe in equality. Everything she says leads to equality. But what she doesn't understand, what she doesn't really understand is she talks about being submissive, but she's not really submissive. Okay, all she wants to do is have her cake and eat it too. She wants her say to be at the same value as her husband, the head of the household. But she's kind of forgetting the head of the household is the main guy. He's the one who's boom right there. Okay, he is the final decision maker. It's what's that's like in my home. My wife will come to me and, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? And it's up to me. It's my decision. I've stated this before. I think the greatest, my wife, like the greatest example of submission is, and I might be wrong about this, but this is why I think it's the greatest submission, act of submission. When my wife was pregnant with our first child, she found out she had gestational diabetes. Wasn't a big deal. She's had it with both our pregnancies. We have a third. She'll probably have it with that one as well. If she doesn't, then I'll probably end up with a boy. But so when we first had our first child, she went in and she used to be a pharmacy technician, so she understands a lot of the medical mumbo jumbo, and so she'll explain it to me in simple terms that I fucking understand, because doctors will throw out a bunch of medical mumbo jumbo, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? So she'll hear it, she'll interpret it, and then like basically break it down for me so I can understand what the fuck is question. So she had two options. All right, she could take like a pill, I think it was, and it was a insulin type kind of pill. It would pass over the placenta. They said it wouldn't harm the baby or anything. It just passed right over, and she'd be fine. Or she could do insulin shots like a regular diabetic would, and poke her finger a bunch and all that stuff, and she'd have to do all that stuff, and then she'd have to do that for the X amount of time during the pregnancy, and but that would guaranteed wouldn't have it doesn't pass the placenta, it doesn't do anything, it completely ignores it, and there's no actual no even close to, there's no chance of harm to the baby at all. And she asked me, what should I do? What do you want me to do, basically? And I told her, well, even though they say there's no chance of it, grazing the placenta or just going over the placenta, no effect on the baby, I would feel better if we just went with the insulin shot. And guess what we did? We went with the insulin shot. So my wife, because she loves and trusts me, and she's submissive to me, decided I am going to, because my husband says, has decided this, I'm going to subject myself to constantly having to prick my finger and give myself an insulin shot because of our baby. So that's an actual act of submission. What this woman wants here, the Latino woman, what she wants is an equal say, but it's not really how it works. She wants a masculine dominant man, but have equal say to him, and that's not how it works. And she says she's submissive, but doesn't really understand what submissive is. She just does a bunch of woman prattling and doesn't say very much, but just says a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Debating whether I should actually pull up and we should watch the full one. Maybe I will. Hold on. See how long it takes me to find this. But I think I will. It was just too good. Sorry. Excuse me. This is so hard to find this goddamn clip. I just watched it yesterday. All right, it looks like I gotta go further. You'd think it'd be a little easier to find this fucking thing, but apparently not. History. There it is. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. All right. This is actually a lot longer clip than I thought it was. So what I'm going to do is we're going to finish up the clips, and if I have time at the end, we'll watch the full clip of the Latina versus Andrew Wilson. FYI, Latina got owned. Shockingly, I know, shocking. All right, mateys, we be whale hunting now.
My value, I know my worth, and I know.
Sorry.
Oh man, I'm late. Yeah. You know I got a really big date. Uh-huh. Oh man, I'm late. Yeah. You know I got a really big date. Uh-huh. She's got.
God damn it. All right, we're skipping that one because I can't really fucking find it again. And I don't want to go back through my fucking shit again to try and find this. All right.
You say men do find attractive when looking for a partner when it comes to a woman's status as far as her
They
finances
don't. They don't care anything about status.
No.
Yeah.
like
Status
even
is
if,
irrelevant.
like no work, still lives with her parents in her 20s.
That's preferable.
Yeah, that's preferable.
Those are, yes, if she lives with her parents, it's probably more likely that she's not going out on the weekends doing hoe shit on the weekends.
I mean, what would you say men do?
It still blows my mind these women actually give a shit, think that we give a shit of a woman's sex. We don't care. We don't care. We really don't care. Because if we get what we actually want, what we truly want, it's you're done. You're not doing I'm sorry. But like again, it's women don't understand that we really do not care about your status. Your status means nothing to us. We have to get our own status. Regardless of how much status you get, we still have to have our own status, all right? So your status does nothing for us, okay? It doesn't benefit us in any way. Okay? Your work ethic doesn't really benefit us, okay? Because you know the old saying, your money's your money, my money is your and my money, okay? So we don't give a shit about your status. We don't give a shit about your working as a job working a job. We don't care, okay? We care about the things that are actually important to us. And the reason women think men care about this stuff is because they care about this stuff. Okay? They care about it. You know, it's really important to them that their man has status, that their man has a good job and shit like that. They care about that. So, as a way to project that how much they care about, project onto them, they think, oh, attraction is symmetrical, meaning that my man must, or the man I want must like the same things I want. No, doesn't work that way. There's a reason the saying goes, opposites attract, okay? I have a really high work ethic. My wife doesn't have a very high work ethic, all right? She's great. She's a great mother. I'm okay father, okay? So opposites attract, right? So I just hope one day these women will get it through their head. We don't care about your status because your status doesn't benefit us. Men do not gain status from being with a woman of status. Okay. We only gain status when we've earned our own status. Okay. On the other hand, women gain status by being a man with status. It's just the way it goes. Okay. If you're a woman, you're able to lock down a man of status, it's good on you. You're seen well. You are valued because you got, hey, doing good. All right. You're with a man of value. Okay. You gain status from being with a man of status. Man, if we're with a woman of status, doesn't matter because they're like, all right, what do you do though? That's what really happens. It's like, okay, cool. You're with a man of status, but what do you do though? And that's how it goes. Sorry, guys. But ladies, we don't care about your status because it doesn't benefit us at all. That's why we don't care about your money. It doesn't benefit us at all anyways.
People literally want parents to stop having any control of their kids whatsoever.
The question I'm asking is, what is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that an award-winning book, All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read?
What a tragic story of a young man who's anally raped by his adult family member. So you have pedophilia. In what context is a strap-on dildo acceptable for public school?
So now you've asked me questions. I'm going to answer it. What's the name of the main character in All Boys Are Blue? You just gave me very specific information about this book, so you're presenting yourself as somebody expert.
The main character is the author.
What's his name?
George, I believe. You didn't answer my question.
No. I'm interviewing you, and you're not interviewing me. So let's just make sure it's a conversation.
Hold on. Is it an interview or a conversation? Which one is it, Joy?
What I'm saying to you is that as you are not an expert in this book,
I don't have to be an expert to know that dildos aren't appropriate for public school.
These people.
Okay, why? Well, see, here's a fallacy. She's arguing for authority fallacy. If you're not an authority on this, therefore you cannot have an opinion. Doesn't really fucking matter. And why didn't you answer your fucking point? Why is it important? What value is there to have a book where someone is anally raped? Of what was it? Incest, rape, and pedophilia. What value is that to children in public school? What? None. Okay, I don't remember going to school when I was a kid. All those years ago. Reading any stories about kids, a kid my age being anally raped. Like, what the fuck is this? Why does this need to be in school? Answer that question, lady. Why does this need to be in school? What value does this bring to school? If you want to, print the book and have it in a library and shit, fine, do that. I'm okay with that. But in a public school, what value is there needed for that? There is none. Again, it's just a way to push an agenda, the woke agenda, because they're not having kids of their own, so they're indoctrinating your kids. All right.
Please invite Andrew Tate on and have him talk. No. I fuck with a lot of the shit he says. You're a racist, a homophobic Christian. You think women are inferior to men. Shut up. Andrew, welcome to the George Janko Show.
How often I sit down with somebody and they say something that makes me think. You give me a lot to think about.
Can we please?
I covered that interview, the Janko and Andrew Tate video. It was a really good interview. I highly recommend you watch it. Janko asked a lot of interesting questions, and Logan's just he's a moron. You're a racist, you're homophobic, and you're a Christian. Okay, so who cares? That's your claim. Is it true? Probably not. And Logan's just some guy who was a little good at doing some internet videos. What life experience does he really have? He does fake wrestling, WWE. I mean, look, yeah, I get it. Fans of WWE, it's real wrestling, blah 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 blah. But you do WWE. You couldn't really do much in a boxing career. You're barely holding on with a YouTube career. And the only reason you're really doing well is because you're tight with Sujin Waziski, or not Susan anymore, but you're tight with YouTube, and you just parrot what they say. At least George Janko has a mind of his own, and he was able to interview the most Googled man, no problem, and ask very thought-provoking questions. I highly recommend you go rumble.com/what is it? So go to Rumble. Let's see. Tate Confidential. Just trying to find. It's a video that happened like a while ago. God damn. Let's see. Okay. Oh, my bad. It's Tate's speech. So yeah, go to Tate's speech on rumble.com. So rumble.com/Tate speech. Go to page. Such a pain in the ass to find this fucking thing. Okay. Okay. Well, just go to rumble.com/Tate speech, or no, just rumble.com and then type in Andrew Tate and George Janko. It's a really good interview. George asks a lot of thought-provoking questions. And Logan's just a clown. I respect his brother, though. His brother does a lot of good work. He actually works for it.
Assuming your husband came to you and he said, I don't want my children to date anybody who is engaged in any kind of prostitution whatsoever, ever. I don't want that, and I'm going to advise them against it, even if they found the Lord. Would you respect his decision?
You're really making it like that's the worst thing you can do, but there's sin and it's hidden. And why don't we talk about those things? Those are the things that are worse. And he used Mary.
I thought there was no
prostitute.
such thing as a worse sin.
So the point of that was they had a conversation earlier. I remember this. The only time I watch whatever is when Andrew Wilson is on. I still would love to come on. I won't. I'm not important enough. Probably never will be. I'd love to go on whatever, though. I respect Brian. I have issues with the podcast, but I respect Brian. But so they had an argument earlier where they were talking about sin and shit like that. If you don't know, Andrew Wilson is a Christian. This hoe here, the one in the middle that we stopped on, she's an OF girl who's turned to the Lord. Anyways, so they had a conversation and they're debating sin, which is worse, blah, blah, blah. And she basically says, the sin, like sins are equal. No matter what the sin, a sin's a sin to sin. Okay. So there's no such thing as a worse sin. She basically compared him smoking cigarettes as on par with her being a prostitute. Okay. It was an equal sin. So now when she gets confronted, an hour or so later and says, and he asks, about this, and she's like, well, there's, sin's sin, and there's other sins we can talk about, but there's no worse sin though, right? Silencered, bodied. And he's just sitting there waiting for an answer, and she's not getting. Gotcha, bitch.
Assuming your husband came to you and he
I remember that was hilarious. She just was quiet. She had no rebuttal to that because she has, look, she doesn't like. Here's the thing: the reason she doesn't want to answer that and isn't okay with her future husband saying, "I am going to actively discourage and tell our kids, hey, you should not date a former prostitute who committed prostitution in any sort of way. You shouldn't date that regardless, even if she found the Lord." Now, she doesn't like that. She doesn't want that because that would mean that the advice she's giving is, I'm okay with head of households discouraging their sons from marrying and dating me and saving me from my lifestyle that I did myself. That's why she doesn't want to answer that. That's why she's not okay and trying to deflect by talking about other sins. That's it. That's why. She doesn't want to, say, like, give that advice out, because then everyone would be like, all right, well, we're not going to give you a chance. You said it was okay. We're not going to give you a chance. Listen, honey, any man that you actually are going to want, they're not going to give you that chance either. All right, what's this?
100% evidence that Jesus raised from the dead. Because if you cannot give me that, then that makes the Bible incredible.
Ma'am, I don't base my life on 100% proof.
Well, maybe that's your problem.
Oh, you do? You base your life on 100% proof?
Yes, that's why I'm skeptical of everything.
Really? So that means you take a chemistry kit to the pharmacy, and when the pharmacist hands you that bottle of medicine, you chemically analyze it to make sure there's no poison in there, right?
That's why I don't
Because unless
take
you have
medicine.
100% proof, you would never dare take that pill and put it in your mouth, because maybe the pharmacist put poison in there.
Yes, I don't base it on 100%.
Right, thank you.
But you
Don't
just
tell me
said
base your
that
life
you
on 100%
did.
Proof. You
I'm
don't.
sorry.
None of us do. It's not possible. You can't do that.
Sorry. I want.
And also, why are you out there? There's no 100% proof that you will not be killed by going outside. Like, no, there's no way to, like, I'm not religious, all right? I've liked this Cliff guy because he, like Andrew Wilson, he doesn't go and just like quote a bunch of scripture and, just goes and, that's all he ends up doing is just saying a bunch of scripture. He engages with these individuals and uses, rational thinking and you know why he thinks this way, and you know basically leads him to Christianity, which I could. I think there needs to be more of these Cliff Andrew Wilson guys who go in and go at you know the people and argue with them on an intellectual, rational basis, because that's how you convert people. But like this whole, I base everything on 100% proof. No, you don't. That's a fucking lie. The clothes you're wearing, you don't have 100% proof that they weren't made by child labor. Okay, which I'm sure you're against. So you don't base your life on 100% proof. You're skeptical, yes, but you don't require 100% proof of everything. You eat, you don't go and take it into an analyzer and make sure what you're getting is what you ordered. No, there's no 100% proof. It's complete and utter bullshit. Like it's ridiculous for her to try and make those. I present myself on 100% proof. I base all my decisions on 100% proof. It's not realistic. It's not possible.
Revolution. Young man named Jean-Simon de Loizarel was waiting to go to the guillotine. Late that night, as he was asleep, an old man came walking through the prison, and he recognized it as his son. He sat beside his son all night long, lovingly looking at him. Early the next morning, a French guard called out, "Jean-Simon de Loizarel." Young man hopped up. "That's my son they're calling for." He ran to the guard. He said, "Yeah, I'm Jean-Simon de Loizarel. What do you want?" The guard said, "It's your turn to go to the guillotine." Now he raises off the list. Age 37. The old man says, "Oh, no, you're mistaken. Age 73. The guard says, "Oh, yeah, stupid mistake," and crosses off the name, and the old man goes to the guillotine. Later that morning, the young Jean-Simon de Loizarel wakes up, expecting to go to the guillotine, but his buddies tell him all night long. An old man sat beside him, lovingly looking into his face, and when his name was called, the old man went and answered. And the young man said, "Well, describe that old man." He said, "That was my dad. My dad sacrificed his life so that I could live." That's what the gospel of Jesus Christ is all about. French Revolution. Young man,
this John, the father, is an example of a true father. You know, actually.
named Jean-Simon de Loizarel.
The far left, which always like to use, well, you're the far left.
Whatever. But yeah, you know, I like that clip because, you know, that is an example of a man, a father, who made the ultimate sacrifice for his son. He's like, all right, my son will be killed if I do not. If I don't take this, my son will be killed. I'm going to go to guillotine. I'm going to sacrifice myself for my son so he may live. And that's, you know, that's a good lesson for all fathers. You know, all fathers, you know, if you're a good father, you'll sacrifice everything, your very life, even to protect your children. And Cliff's point there for the you know, for the religion is you know, that's basically Jesus Christ. He sacrificed his life for all, for everyone. You know, he viewed everyone as his children. He sacrificed his life so that, you know, you could be forgiven. But you know, it's a story. Even if you're not a follower of Christ or religious at that point, that's the lesson that you can take with everyone. Is you know, once you become a parent, you need to be willing and actually, you know, be willing and you know, desirous of, you know, having to make the ultimate sacrifice to save your children. If you don't think you're even capable of that, you probably shouldn't have children.
America stolen land.
No matter what your legends say, you didn't sprout from the plains like the spring grasses, and you didn't coalesce out of the ether. You came out of the Minnesota woodlands, armed to the teeth, and set upon your fellow man. You massacred the Kiowa, the Omaha, the Ponca, the Oto, and the Pawnee without mercy. And yet you claim the Black Hills as a private preserve bequeathed to you by the Great Spirit.
And who gave us the guns and powder to kill our enemies? And who traded weapons to the Chippewa and others who drove us from our home?
Chief Sitting Bull, the proposition that you were a peaceable people before the appearance of the white man is the most fanciful legend of all. You were killing each other for hundreds of moons before the first white stepped foot on this continent. You conquered those tribes, lusting for their game and their lands, just as we have now conquered you for no less noble a cause.
This is your story of my people.
This is the truth, not legend.
Is America stolen?
Now, That's a show, I think, or a movie or something like that. I don't know really what it is, but it's a show. But it's very accurate. A lot of people, they always I actually have a clip later on. It's gonna pretty exemplify that too. But there's like, oh, we're on stolen land. We're on stolen land. Well, Native Americans stole from each other a bunch of times. That's what they did. It's called conquering. We just did it. Americans just did it on a larger scale, and we're far more successful. That's the difference between everything. It's we just did it on a large scale. While they did it, on a small scale, we did it on a large scale. So this whole conquered land, blah, 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 stolen land, blah, 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 both, who fucking cares, all right? If they were stronger and better and they won, I wouldn't be saying shit, okay? If you win, you get to keep what you win, okay? That's how it was back then. That's how it worked back then. If you won, it's actually how it works now. If you win, you get to keep what you win. It's why all these wars we're in are very pointless, because we go in to promote peace and all that, but we don't gain anything. There's nothing we gain. In World War II, we gained a portion of Germany and set our deals with Germany and split it with Russia. So what we got? We won something. We and these wars we have now, we don't win anything. We don't gain anything. Afghanistan, Ukraine, nothing. We don't gain anything by getting involved in any of these wars. Okay, it's all it is well, what it really is our politicians are being bribed to do certain things. But what it also is we do it just because it makes us feel good. But there's no benefit to it. It just makes us feel good. It just puts us in more debt, makes us feel good. But back to this is there's that propaganda. We stole the land, we stole the land, we stole the land. But the land was stolen before, and Michael knows, and I think I have that clip later on. I do actually. Ask a professor questions like, to which land do we return it to? If we were to say, all right, you know what, we stole this land, we're going to give it back to the Native Americans. Who's it go back to? Okay. The Comanche who we took it from, or the Pawnee that they took it from, or the Iroquois that they took it from? Does the land revert back to? Can't answer that question. Can't. Stop bitching about stolen land and stuff. You lost. We won. There you go.
Just for you. Do you think that God would be pleased with the path that you're on?
According to the Bible, I would say yes, because I ask for forgiveness after every sin.
So let me ask you this. If God would be pleased with the path you're on, what path do you think Satan would want you on?
The one God is not accepting.
So he would want you to be wholesome?
I am wholesome.
My question for you would be...
Is that really good? If God wouldn't be pleased with you on the path that you're on, who would be pleased? Come on. Like it's an obvious, it's a question she doesn't, I think, flew over her head. I remember watching this. I don't remember how, but like the whole thing flew it over. So Satan, obviously, everyone who knows anything knows Satan is the personification of evil. He wants you to do evil and, do wrong. And God wants you to do right. Okay. He wants to do right, be good, and all that stuff. So if you're doing wrong and you say, oh, God's okay with it. He forgives because I asked for forgiveness, blah, blah, blah. So God's okay with it. So the question is like, okay. So God's okay with being a prostitute and banging every, and sinning and all that stuff. Then Satan wants you to want to be good and wholesome and stuff. It just doesn't make any logical sense. And that's the point. She's like, all right. So Satan's the one who wants you to be wholesome? That doesn't make any sense. She's like, I am wholesome. No, you're not. You're some hoe on either you're stripping or you're on OF. Okay. You're not wholesome. Stop it. You're a prostitute whether it's in person or online. That's all you are. So stop calling yourself a Christian woman because you're not. I love Andrew Wilson. He just ends up buying these chicks like left and right. It's hilarious.
My question is, if that's what makes us unworthy, then what's making you unworthy to men? Because you don't sound like you're getting respected either.
I mean, you can definitely say that it's your fault that you do porn and that you're never going to get a husband. So,
Well, one, I never said that I wanted a husband. I'm single by choice.
right, but you're saying that men don't respect me because by being a respectable woman, I'm doing nothing to gain respect from men.
Well, your definition of normal is like totally your own definition.
Is
you
it
know?
my own or is it the rest of the world's also? And you're the minority of women that thinks the opposite.
It's just your opinion, babe. I think
That's, yeah. The rest of the world definitely thinks that women that have normal jobs that don't sell their body online are respectable.
Would you personally take a poll with the rest of the world?
I think they did. There was a poll, and the poll unanimously stated that you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. I think they did a worldwide poll. On
Wow.
that.
I think I
they're
don't
just
remember being
jealous.
a part of that, and I do think that I am part of the world.
You didn't
so.
receive the poll?
No. Oh my god. So maybe it should be.
'Cause she's
redone.
on the poll.
But my question is, if that's what makes us unworthy, then what's
So, I understand the point of. I mean, it is a cope. She is coping, and I guess I need some more background on what was going. But it's you're a hoe. Like men will, like the chick in black's probably far more respectable than you are. Why she can't find a husband? She probably has other issues, but a big disqualifier is being a fucking hoe and being on OF. That's why you see all these women getting upset, and there's a lot of porn stars and committing self deletion after they're done with it, and they can't find a man at the end, and people, like we're gonna see a giant influx, in a couple years, well, several years, of OF girls doing the same thing because their ages, their looks are gonna fade. They're not gonna get as much attention, and then they're not gonna be able to find a husband because no man's once put a ring on a hoe. You can't turn a wife into a hoe. Or a hoe into a wife. Yeah, you can't turn a wife into or a hoe into a housewife or however it's fucking called. But yeah, the cope was hard with her. It's like, I think I am. Okay, look, just because you think you are doesn't mean you actually are. It doesn't matter what you think. It matters what the men that are going to decide whether you are a wife or not.
The girls here at the table who do. What do your parents think about it? Do they support you? Do they not support you?
No,
They
not
don't-
at all.
They're not. Do they? Well, do they know? They don't know.
I think my mom picked up on it and she knows, but she doesn't want to admit it. But I think like once I go to Dubai or something, it's a deal breaker. Like I am deleting my account. I think I'll be disowned from my culture.
Too?
My family is Muslim.
Okay, I see.
I am Muslim.
Gotcha. Because you said you're
good
gonna
luck.
delete your stuff, but I mean the internet's forever. So
Well, yeah, it is forever, and I'm okay with that. In our culture,
It's
its
everything.
reputation is everything, especially in the Middle East. When you go over there, no one will talk to you. No one will marry you.
those are the girls here at the table who do.
Yeah, you're gonna be disowned, of course. And then like you made this decision, and then you're like, "Oh, I'll be disowned and everything." It's like I'm okay with that. No, you're not. You're not gonna be okay with that when you're ostracized, you're alone, and no one fucking wants you. You're not gonna be okay with that. You're okay with it now because you got a bunch of money, maybe, and you're able to gain all this attention from men and everything. You're okay with it now, but once that money goes away, your looks fade, you're alone, you're not going to be okay with it. You're going to be very upset with it. I'm okay with it. No, you're not. Stop lying. You're a liar.
Expect a high value man or somebody you'd want to marry to take you seriously if you're posting photos of yourself in bikinis online. A guy that you want to actually marry isn't going to want his wife as like material for other men online.
Is that what it is, though?
Yes, that's jerk off material. How do you expect a high value man or somebody?
This is Laura Loomer. And she's got a great point. Like how do you expect a man of value to want to who's going to be okay with his wife who posts a bunch of pictures of herself half naked on the internet? All right. And I always see the like, well, what are you supposed to wear at the beach? A bikini. It's fine. You're in a select group of people. You're with your man. It's all good. The problem is when you post it online by yourself and doing some thirst traps, because that's all it really is. You know it is. Stop acting like you don't. You post all these pictures, and then you get hundreds of dudes like sending you likes and DMs and jerking off to your fucking picture, because that's what they do, because men are fucking disgusting. That's why we have an issue. We don't have an issue with the bikini itself. There's no issue with the bikini itself, really. It's the picture on the internet for the whole world to see, okay? Because when you go on to a beach, the appropriate attire is a swimwear, okay? So bikini, one piece, whatever the fuck you're wearing, okay? That is the appropriate situation for the those are the appropriate clothes for the situation. But then if you go and post it on the internet, so you get a bunch of thirsty, men to like and to get that attention validation, that's when it starts to go away. That's when the appropriateness disappears. Because now you're posting it on your internet where it's not appropriate. It's not the appropriate attire for the internet. At least with your man of value.
If there were men who were falsely accused of SA, I would 100% be in support of further investigation into those cases.
And have you engaged in political activism? Have you been out there marching with BLM? Have you been doing things like this ever?
Maybe when I was young.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. And have you ever marched for any men's rights advocacy whatsoever, ever?
I don't see the relevance if it's not something I
have you or
actively
haven't
do.
you?
I just don't see the relevance.
Because
sir.
the relevance is showing you this, that it's interesting that on the one hand you say, I'm totally against all of these things. But of course, your political advocacy never reflects that. That's
I
all I'm
actually
saying.
have advocated online several times and in several conversations on my social media platforms. I do
I don't
poetry
believe
on
you.
TikTok. If
I
there
don't-
were men
okay.
who were falsely
You notice how she was quick to answer. Yes, I have marched for BLM. But then when asked, even though she's advocating here online, she's like, when asked, have you marched with men advocacy groups? The answer is, well, I don't see the relevance. Why don't you answer the question? You're quick to answer with BLM. You didn't seem to care about the relevancy then. But then when asked about the men men rights groups, you're silenced. So what you're really saying is, here in this conversation, I'm going to pretend that I actually give two shits, but in reality, I really don't care two shits. Okay, I really don't give two shits. I am going to lie to try and win my argument, but the reality is, I don't do that. I don't reflect that in my political advocacy. That's all that was. That chick's voice was also annoying as hell.
Say I got pregnant tomorrow. I forgot to take my birth control. You guys would all want me to have it. What about I want to go to law school? I'm a poli-sci major.
Me.
Okay, but
Okay,
what's wrong with having a
So when you go me, I, me, I'll kill the
Change the
kid
split.
because then I can get the shit that I want.
Yeah.
We think of that as being fucking monstrous. We think of it, we think of it literally akin to a monster. A monster is the
What's
type
more-
of person who would say, I'm going to do shit that I want, give myself the life that I want, get all the material gains that I want at the expense of killing children. I literally cannot define a monster better than that.
I wish my mom had aborted me. She was a horrible
Oh.
mother. She did not have the money. She did not have the
Now later on, because Andrew and her ended up having one-on-one debate, and she admits that I was just trying to say that to be shocking. All right, she doesn't actually believe that. She doesn't actually believe that. She really doesn't want that, but like she's saying that just to say something shocking.
Now the
money to
truth
take
comes
care of
out,
me.
doesn't it?
No, it's not because I'm but I just wanted to make a,
Well,
Yeah,
that's
thank
really
you.
that's really strange.
I
though.
just
You're
wanted
not.
to make a really
You
aggressive
wish
point.
your mom would have aborted
Can you let
you,
Finish my sentences.
but you're not. You don't want to unalive yourself. It's so weird.
No. I don't. Okay, let's say I got pregnant.
Also, like it's like, oh, let's say I got pregnant tomorrow, but I have all these dreams. Okay, then you probably should have kept your fucking legs closed. Okay, if you have all these dreams, you have this desire, you know the guaranteed way to not get pregnant. Keep your legs closed. Okay, you want all these, so don't abort the kid because you made a poor fucking decision. Keep your fucking legs closed. Accomplish your dreams. There you go. Stop trying to kill a kid just because you make a poor fucking decision. Okay. Hold on.
You just tried to make an argument and conflate that a man being in a room with a bunch of millionaires is the same as a woman being in a room with a bunch of millionaires. You try to conflate the two, and I'm telling
But
you,
have you been in that
one
room?
has to be skilled and the other one doesn't. So it's very different.
That is a skill. Being beautiful, getting yourself to be in that room is a skill.
No, it's not.
Something that just happens.
Yes,
You
it
have to
is.
know how to speak.
You just tried to make.
How did you get on Fresh and Fit? You just answered a DM or you sent in a DM. You didn't have to have a skill to get on a Fresh and Fit. You don't have to have a skill to get on a yacht if you're beautiful. No, that's not a skill. That's what you're born with. Okay? Or it's something you surgically made. But generally, it's something you're born with. Okay? And she's like, oh, that's a skill. This is a woman who's only ever like the only thing she's ever been valued for is her sex. Like it's that's it. She has nothing else. All she's ever had is her sex. Okay, her sexual allure. Okay, her beauty. That's all she's ever had. She doesn't have to acquire anything. Okay, anything. She doesn't have to acquire any skills. It was just she was given things because she was pretty, and so she thinks that's a skill. It's not a skill. Okay.
Girls trip and my husband calls me every hour. Yeah, I let the dogs out. That's good, baby. Yeah, Hadley peed and pooped. Oh, that's good, baby. Talk to you in a bit. Okay, love you. Okay, bye, baby. These times again. Hey, I'm ordering dinner. That's good, baby. Every time.
See how like she talks about her man.
Leave me alone, baby.
Is this why women initiating divorce is so high?
So this man, you know, clearly cares about his woman. Not this guy here. This guy's just a commentator. But you know, that woman's husband misses her, cares about her, is talking to her. And she proceeds to, instead of enjoy that, go on the internet and ridicule this man and and demean him. That's good, baby. Leave me alone. This woman has such a good life. She was able to go on a girls' trip and her husband still be able to handle things at home. And when he, you know, misses her and texts her, she decides, instead of, you know, oh, this is cute, and you know, he's not cheating on me or anything. He's just being, you know, good husband. I'm just gonna go on the internet and make fun of him, demean him. That's all that ends up being.
Shares crashed 95%. Most vegan companies in this country, lack of consumer demand. I think people have got a bit fed up with it. I think one of the reasons is they're fed up with being shouted at. You're one of these people that runs into restaurants and plays, you know, sounds from screaming animals and abattoirs and so on. I know you care passionately about it. I think it's very off-putting, but it just annoys people. It has the opposite effect to what you hope.
I don't think so at all. I think it brings more attention to the animal holocaust. Animals are subjected to rape, torture, enslavement, abuse, and murder, and I'm bringing light to that.
Beyond Meat shares.
No. No. There's one thing we can all agree on, okay? It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, gay or straight, Republican or Democrat. Something we can all agree on. We hate fucking two things. We all hate two things. Karens, okay, and vegans. We hate them both. Going in and blasting sounds of fucking slaughterhouse stuff, it just makes me not like you because I'm just sitting here peacefully minding my own business and enjoying my meal. Then you want to come in and disturb my meal just so you can push a political agenda. Doesn't make me like you. It's the same thing with protesters who block traffic. We don't fucking like you. Okay? We really don't. Okay? And anything you have, like anything you're protesting for, you're going to end up like being against. Like if it was a gun advocacy group and they went and blocked the road, everyone would be like, fuck these guys, fuck whatever they're going with. They're pro-gun, fuck pro-gun. It's just a way to just turn people off. You do shit like this. It doesn't bring light. It doesn't convert anyone to your side. Okay? Doesn't do any of that. We just don't like you. And anything you say goes in one ear and out the other. What you can do is stand around, have a rational conversation, and rationally lead them to your line of thinking. But you can't do that because there's no rationale for what you think. You want to call an animal a person, it's not a person. Sorry. And I swear this chick's like more like a troll because she posts, vegan booty, whatever. I think she's not actually a vegan. She just like is doing for clicks and shit, because all the shorts I see of her is her just getting dunked on.
I've got one there that's been milking for 5 years, and she produces 3.5
You didn't
litres of
answer
milk
the
a day.
question. You didn't answer our question.
What question was that?
Once they're considered no longer profitable, when they can no longer
I eat the
produce
damn
breast
things
milk,
because I'm a canine.
what happens with them?
I eat them because I'm a canine.
And is that abuse or not?
No, it's not. I eat the damn things.
How do they die?
How do they die? I kill them.
You kill them. Is
Myself.
that not abuse?
No.
If you were to be killed, would that be a form of abuse?
No.
No. Okay.
I've done that. I've actually killed human beings. I was a soldier.
This is your farmer.
I have killed people.
Yeah, this is your farmer. Yeah, this is a G. Look, that guy doesn't believe anything he's saying. Not the farmer, but the guy next to the chick. He just wants to bang the chick. Okay, he doesn't give a shit about anything. He just wants to bang the girl.
But I have killed people at the instigation of the government. Not my choice.
Yeah, but you murder animals and you
No,
abuse
I
them
don't murder
and you make
animals.
profit from them.
I don't murder animals, dear.
Yes, you do.
My goats,
I love that this farmer. You should watch their own interview. He just dunks on them left and right. He's like, I've actually killed people, so no, it's not abuse. Trust me. This dude's a G. Again, or maybe this is a different account and they're just using her picture. But like this chick just ends up getting dunked on by everyone, and she posts it. I don't understand.
Because animals are equivalent to the king.
Do you realize that you're an animal too?
Well, no, human beings are the highest of all creation.
Right.
Do you know much about the brain?
Yeah, I do. That's why I'm vegan, because I think that anyone who has a brain and central nervous system shouldn't have their throat slit just for someone to eat their bodies or their milk.
You want to know what's unique about the human brain? It has a larger area for language processing. And as such, the reason all of this is here today is because of this brain.
But does that justify slitting someone's throat to eat their bodies?
You know what I'm doing right now? See that woman over there? I just handed her a bag of food. Do you honestly think that what you're doing right now is more important than feeding people that live on the street?
I'm talking about throat slitting here. I'm talking about, is it okay to slit someone's throat to eat their body? Why is it okay?
No, you're talking about animals. Animals aren't someone. They're not people. Like animals aren't people, no matter how much you want them to be. All right, I'm gonna skip this next one because it's a long clip. All right, so I'm not gonna do the Andrew Wilson versus the Latina chick. Sorry, you'll have to watch that yourself. Because I got another clip or video I'm gonna watch. That's 10 minutes. And maybe running short on time.
Sit in a room full of men and we'll argue brutally. They don't give a shit, right? And I don't even take it they don't take it personally either. But I just noticed that women who want to be treated equally, all right, we want to be equal. First thing they start doing is tone policing and being upset with how a thing is said rather than what is said. All right, this is what I've noticed. And it's just interesting to me, the distinction in perception, because I'd say the best thing I could do is treat everybody here just like I would treat men when I debate them, right? So I'm taking you literally at face value that you're just as good as any man who's sitting there to debate with me. And instead I can't believe how you just said that. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Right? Drives me crazy. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're having a debate. Let's do it. I'll sit in a room full of men.
That's the biggest difference between men and women. Women care about what is said. Men care about what is said. Women care about how it's said. If you're not saying it in a nice way, you don't have a good point. That's the women thought process. Okay. And men, we don't give a shit. Say what you have to say. Say it with your fucking chest. Okay. And there's maybe various reasons for that. Like with men, I think the reason for that is because with men, there's always a threat of violence. All right. You say anything too wild, there's a threat of violence. Okay. So there's an equal amount of respect there. Okay. So if you say something too wild, you can expect a threat of violence, then that man can also is like, all right, if he says something too wild and I want to fight him, will I win? There's that kind of like dynamic. Women, they don't have that dynamic. So they gotta do it in different ways. They gotta put you on their level because men are at the same level regardless. Okay. And then women are level, men are here, women are like down here. Okay. So they have to, bring us down to her level. And to do that, they need to tone police. They need to, hey, say what you say, but say it nicely. Okay. That's what I think is the reason for that is because that way they can bring you onto their level and we can be equal in that sense. So if you're saying it, you have to be forced to change your words to say it nicely, then we're on the same playing field and we can have our debate be fair and equal in their eyes. With men, look, if I say something too wild, I might get hit and, we may get into a fight. I may win. This guy may win. There's an equal playing field here. And so men don't give a shit about why, about how it says, just what it said. And we also have that rational thinking too. We're like, all right, although he said something pretty wild and crazy, is what he's saying accurate? Is what he's saying true? Yeah. That's another reason too, is we have that rational thinking in our heads. Women are more irrational, more emotional. Also, if you had these type of panels with a group of men, it get done so quick. Like on Fresh and Fit, they ask the women, let's see, give me your name, age, relationship status, or where you work, relationship status, and all that, some basic questions like that. And it takes so goddamn long. It takes like 10, 30 minutes for them to get through all the fucking women they have on a panel because they end up drawing on. You ask a guy, what's your name, Ghost? What's your age? I'm 29. Where do you work? I work in transportation and I do streaming. Where do you parents' relationship status? They're divorced. Like, boom, it's so quick. But then he has some women and they got to drone on like 30 minutes so they can have some intention on it. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious.
Didn't my wife have this problem that your bodyguards used to protect you? Is that fair or is that unfair? Why is
That's
it unfair?
a ridiculous argument.
But why?
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous? Because you're more important than me? I'm merely saying that you have better protection than I do. And you're saying that my family doesn't deserve to have a certain species of weapon. You get to decide what we can protect ourselves with, but you're not going to in any way take the ability to protect you away from the Capitol Hill Police.
I'm saying that every police officer in America today is outgunned. For their safety and for the safety of the
That's a
people
lie.
we have assault weapons.
Right. Why should...
That's a lie. Police departments aren't outgunned. Okay. They have automatic weapons. Regular people don't. Okay. What you're talking about is criminals, and criminals don't abide by the fucking law. Okay. So they're outgunned. Police are outgunned because guess what? Criminals have access to these guns. We don't. It's not because of law-abiding citizens. It's because criminals purchase guns that are already unlawful. There's nothing we can do about that. Fucking anti-gun people don't make any fucking sense. It drives me up the fucking wall.
What's your response to some of the people that thought you were being disrespectful by being on your phone and not being attentive?
Well, I was on my phone, and yes, that's true. I was following developments with a 5-year-old little girl sitting on her dad's lap who just got shot in the head by a drive-by shooting. If some of the people here gave a good goddamn about the victimization of people in this community by crime, I take some of their invective more seriously. The greatest racial disparity in the city of Milwaukee is getting shot and killed. Hello. 80% of my homicide victims every year are African American. 80% of our aggravated assault victims are African American. 80% of our shooting victims who survived their shooting are African American. Now, they know all about the last 3 people that have been killed by the Milwaukee Police Department over the course of the last several years. There's not one of them can name one of the last 3 homicide victims we've had in this city. Get off my
What's your
lawn.
response to some of the people that thought you were being disrespectful by being on your phone and not being attentive?
Well, I was on my phone, and yes, that's true. I was following developments with a 5-year-old little girl sitting on her dad's lap who just got shot in the head by a drive-by shooting. If some of the people here gave a good goddamn about the victimization.
All right. Yeah. So all these people really end up caring about is, hey, you killed Let's see. Sorry. Yeah. So. Yeah, so this is the problem I had with BLM and a lot of these people is they only care about the death of of people by police officers. I don't give two shits about the death of people by I don't know any other means. Like it's really ridiculous. More people are killed, more Black Americans are killed by other Black Americans than cops. But these advocacy groups, they only really care about the fact that they're killed by cops. Now, I'm not, I don't really like cops killing citizens. They're supposed to protect us, not killers. But I do admit, under some circumstances, it is necessary to protect other life at some point. Okay, if it's a willy-nilly, unnecessary shooting, then yeah, absolutely, cops need to be, removed and fined and in trouble. I totally agree with that. But that's not how it normally works. Normally, let's be honest, you've seen those videos. Reason a cop shoots someone, there's that. Let's be honest, the majority of the time is because they had a weapon, reaching towards a weapon, and all that stuff. Okay, there was reasonable reason to think, hey, I might get shot here. But the majority of the times that Black people are killed or white people or anyone's killed is because they're getting killed by other people, not cops. So this whole faux, I'm just so upset that people are getting killed here, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. You don't give two shits. You don't care. You only care that it's because it's cops doing it. That's all you really care about. It's cop and you can promote your fake outrage. Now, this may be a reason to move to Florida, I think. I think this is Florida. I don't know.
For 6.5 years for home invasion. And he just can't seem to get the picture of crime does not pay. So yesterday, about 4:30, we get a call to Santa Villa subdivision in reference to him being a suspicious person. Multiple people call. We end up, probably 20 deputies get there, set up a perimeter. The dogs are out, and he's jumping fences and breaking into houses as he goes. So that started at 4:30. Around 5:12 p.m., we get a call, shots fired. One of the homeowners, he was breaking into their house, and they shot at him. As to the person, we don't know which homeowner shot at him. I guess they think that they did something wrong, which they did not. If somebody's breaking in your house, you're more than welcome to shoot them in Santa Rosa County. We prefer that you do, actually. So whoever, you're not in trouble, come see us. We have a gun safety class we put on every other Saturday. And if you take that, you'll shoot a lot better, and hopefully you'll save the taxpayers money. We sent him to prison for 6.5 years for home invasion.
This is you shoot someone who breaks in your house. We're not mad about that. We're just, we just want you to, come down and just gonna come down and you can shoot them that way. That's what it was. That's just funny. Let me just give advice. Whoever you are, they don't know who you are. Just don't even leave it. Just leave it be. Don't go to their safety class. Don't say it was me. Nothing. Don't admit anything to the cops. I don't care what they say. It's a trap. That's funny. We prefer it, actually. Come take a class so you can shoot better.
Something. If your girlfriend asks you what you would do if she was a worm or if she was a puddle of water or anything stupid like that, you just tell her exactly what she wants to hear, because she's never going to be a worm. Tell her what she wants to hear. What is the point in actually bringing logic to something like that? It's just going to hurt her feelings.
So are you saying that logic hurts women?
Yeah.
One time I asked a guy that I was seeing if he would still like me if I was a puddle of water, and he said, no, what? And I got so sad. It hurts my feelings.
Wait, so he's supposed to lie?
I wanted him to.
All right. Sorry.
to say, I would put you in a mason jar and put you in my pocket and then take you everywhere to travel the world.
So, chat, what have we learned, guys?
That women are stupid. Let me tell you something.
She's never going to be a worm, so don't be logical. Sorry, ladies. That's what we are. We're logical individuals. We're never going to be a worm. Why are you being so... No. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Just say it to make him feel better. Sorry, I'm a logical human being. Your question is dumb.
Yourself also referenced the idea of an immigration-related executive order. Is there any update on that front?
Look, and I've said this many times before, we believe the bipartisan proposal that came out of the Senate that Republicans rejected because of the former president.
Blab, 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 blab.
We always said that we don't believe moving with an executive action is the way to go.
Wait a second.
Today, I'm going to sign a few executive orders to strengthen the immigration system, building on the executive actions I took on day one to protect dreamers and to end the Muslim ban and to better manage our borders.
The president himself also referenced the idea of an immigration-related executive order. Is there any update on that front?
Look, and I've said this many times.
All right. I think that's all I'm going to do today. I'm like an hour and a half in. There's so much videos I apparently have. I have apparently said a lot of things to say about it. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I feel like doing right now. Goddamn. Didn't realize I have things I need to take care of, which is why I got to end the show so early. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Give me a follow. I will be on later tonight on my gaming channel, rumble.com/gamingwithghost, youtube.com/@officialgamingwithghost. Those are my various channels. I will be playing some Helldivers 2 tonight. So be on the lookout for that. I hope you all have a good day. Peace out, and we'll see you a little later.